Okay, I got a doozy for you today, folks. My very favourite stealth action game, Headhunter. Amuse dropped this banger in 2001 and it still slaps hard 22 years later. Biking, blasting, sneaking, snarking. This game has a little bit of everything. I'll start by introducing you to our friend Jack Wade. Jack is a gun-toting, bike-riding, beard-having badass with cool shades and a gruff voice. He's your typical 80s action hero, and he makes for a very likeable protagonist. If you enjoy the way Leon is constantly talking smack to the bad guys in RE4, then I think you'll be right at home here. Anyway, our boy Jack wakes up in this future tech looking lab with no idea what's going on and no memory of who he is. We've all been there, right lads? So, he does the sensible thing by making a run for it, gunning down goons in his wake and ultimately becoming hospitalised. Whilst in the hospital, he meets Chief Hawk and learns that he used to be a headhunter for the Anti-Crime Network, or ACN.
I'm a regular hero.
And now you're fired. For life.
However, he is now being discharged and will have to go freelance. Then he meets Angela Stern, daughter of the powerful and recently murdered ACN founder Christopher Stern. Angela offers to help Jack work out who he is, and in exchange she wants our lad to get out there and do some serious wet work to solve her dad's murder. Primarily, she wants us to take out a mysterious crime boss called Don Fulci, leader of the Syndicate. I won't say much more about the story now, as I really am giving this game the hard sell, and I think you should check it out. I'll just say that we have a colourful cast of characters such as rival bounty hunter Hank Redwood, hard knock biker Grey Wolf, and cyber cowboy Esteban Ramirez. There's a decent amount of bad guys, and they all do that Metal Gear Solid thing where you learn about their backstory and whatnot. You can even get data files on them that you can read at your leisure, so the lore is deeper than you might expect at a first glance. It's cool. But before we can meet them, Jack needs to get his Headhunter license back. And to qualify for the Headhunter test, you have to rack up points by driving your motorbike as fast as you can, and I'm not sure why. Anyway, off to the Layla test centre.
Jack Wade, is that live and breathe?
Sorry,
What, you don't remember me? Boy, that hurts.
Wait, it's coming back. Yeah, Hank Redwood. Abusive father, flunked out of high school, loved working the Vice Squad, found he had a nose for sniffing out lowlife. Never had a girlfriend, dog walked out on him. After roasting Hank to fucking death, you do some VR missions which serve as a tutorial and the license is yours. Then begins your first proper mission at this gas station. I'll show you the full run through of this part just so you can get a feel for the excellent blend of stealth, gunplay and puzzle solving. The mission is to track down two informants who have been kidnapped by Grey Wolf's gang, and intel suggests that both of them should be here. This place has got a really cool sunny LA afternoon aesthetic, but we don't have time for that right now as I gotta rescue these informants. So we watch our Metal Gear radar to see which way the enemies are facing, and then we sneak over here and break this chump's neck. Then we pop around the corner and notice these guys having a little shoot bang to themselves. Unfortunately, I need them to be dead. Grab this car battery, it might be handy. Oh no, that's my informant in the car. Do you think he might still be okay? Guys? You think he... No, it doesn't look good, does it? Okay, well, I still have another one that I can find. Let's go inside the station. We find this guy tooling around in the garage and it's time for him to get dead. Move this big fuck off car battery out the way so I can get a car wash token. I don't even have a car, I'm a biker. Oh well, let's give it a look. Blast through the car wash, find a locker key to open this locker and get a wire to replace the busted one on this power box. Now we can lower the car in the garage and get the fire extinguisher. God, I hope this informant is okay. Guys, he's dead. I'm sad. But he did have a crowbar. Let's use that to break off the boards and find our next... Oh god, he's dead too!
Whoa, big man with an EMP gun. I got your number, Headhunter. They told me about you.
Maybe you can share sometime.
You won't live long enough.
Okay, that there fellow we just saw was Grey Wolf, the first boss of the game. We chase him down through a big cool warehouse section with more puzzles in the vein of something like Silent Hill or Resident Evil. For instance, there's this cool one where you get this crest, and then you have to find the correct pattern to engrave into it to open a door. That kind of reminded me of the Hawk emblem puzzle from Code Veronica. And then we have a pretty epic rooftop battle in the rain, which shakes out a lot like that second Vulcan Raven fight from MGS1. We beat Grey Wolf using whatever strategy you prefer. I like proximity mines. And then that concludes this mission. Back to Layla to upgrade our license because Grey Wolf has now given us some intel on Dom Fulci's black market organ operation. Oh yeah, that's another thing worth mentioning. This is a weirdly organ-based society, so all the crime lords and shady characters deal in organ smuggling. The game was heavily inspired by the movies of Paul Verhoeven, and as such it's full of satire and glib social commentary. Before we can move on Fulci, Angela gets kidnapped by Ramirez, and he's got a whole hostage situation going on over at the mall, so we gotta sneak in via the sewers. It's time to talk combat. You might have noticed the pretty snappy cover shooting mechanic we got going on here. I will remind you that this is 2001 and not many studios had this figured out at this point. Sure, Winback changed the game in 1999 by giving us the first viable cover system, and some of the big dogs had cottoned on, but it really wasn't a commonplace thing back then. My absolute favourite cover shooting mechanic is the one we see in the criminally underrated Kill Switch for the PS2, but Headhunter comes a close second. Jack snaps onto these walls and ducks in and out of the cover very responsively. Feels great to control, and you always feel like you're right there in the action, shooting, ducking, grenading, planting proximity mines. Once we get into Palmyra Mall proper, we can mosey into the record store and buy some reggae, and then check the charts to see that Rocky Balboa is at number 1 with his hit single, Fourth Blood. We can politely ride on the escalator at a reasonable speed. Oh yeah, we need to rescue Angela. Once that's done, she tells you the whole thing was just a cover for Ramirez to pull a bank heist, and so we gotta get out of here. Over to the bank. And once you've blasted a few of those goons and unlocked the mainframe, it's time to meet the man himself.
My friends, they call me the Cyber Cowboy.
The rest of us call you asshole.
Damn Jack, why you gotta do him like that? This is another cool boss fight with a gimmick. Like I say, all the boss fights in this game are great, in the vein of Metal Gear Solid or the Arkham series. It's all about spotting the opportunity. In this case, Ramirez is hidden behind bulletproof glass and he's sent his robot spiders after you. But if you manage to damage them, then you can jack into them and send them hurtling towards the glass door to get him. And we're in. Needless to say, the game doesn't end here. Even this mission doesn't end here, but if I carried on, we'd end up talking about Disc 2 and later game content, which I don't want to do for now. I will just say that based on how this game starts, I never would have predicted where it ends. The last mission is kind of out of left field, I gotta say, but hey, there's nothing wrong with being a little experimental. It just contributes to making the game as unique as it is, for which Amuse should be applauded. And speaking of Amuse, sadly they didn't do much else after this game. They did do a sequel, mind you, which I never checked out, and now that I say it out loud, I realise that I really should. But after that, the studio went into liquidation. They made such a solid and robust feeling action game here with a properly immersive and well realised world. It's a shame that the franchise hasn't continued to modern day, or that the studio isn't still around to give us fresh bangers. I could also say the same about Origami, as Linceworks recently shut up shop too. It sucks when these great studios don't get the recognition they deserve, but at least we will always have these awesome games as monuments to their brilliance. And that's all I have to say about Headhunter for now, folks. As I say, I didn't plan to cover any endgame stuff because I'm hoping you might like to check it out yourself. If I can ever get the hang of making a half-decent Let's Play, then maybe I'll set up a Twitch channel and do Headhunter on there. But for now, I'm pretty happy just making these kind of videos, and I do hope you enjoyed it. As always, please consider hitting the like and the sub and the bell if you enjoy this kind of content, as I've got plenty more where that came from. Take care out there, guys, and I will see you in the next one.